Hey guys, welcome to my journey. I had to say in this part of the journey that miracles do exist. Even I was surprised about this day. It was July 7th, 2026. I woke up this morning, did my morning breath work. A man named Eric gave me $20. I remember talking to this guy the day before. Of course, I didn't put it in my logbook. And I remember him talking about driving to Alaska, which I was very surprised about. Because that was a little bit of a journey itself, even by vehicle, especially when we're on the border of Canada. He was driving a Ram 500 with a Ono, I guess one of those short trailers resting on the back of his tailgate or in the bed of his truck. You guys probably know what I'm talking about, with a red Honda 255 attached to it. And this was like the time when I started uploading videos for the first time. And I remember getting 422 views, though some people did not like it. I don't know why that meant to me. Really don't care about that anymore. I remember drawing the card Love, or the Oracle card Love. And what I realized about love itself, at least from what I experienced, is that it's the highest dimension of life, or the highest thing you can ever experience in life. Like real love, there's no worry or anxiety. When someone says, "Oh, I'll worry about you," why you worry about me? Because I love you. That's not love, that's worry. That's fear. Fear and love are opposite to one another, at least from what I experienced. Love, there's no worry or stress. It's just, you're just being. You can feel it in your heart. And to me, love brings safety and security. And it's almost like, from what I experienced when I was in a state of love, you attract those things, like positive things, into your life. If you can love yourself, then you can love everyone. And that's something I've realized that I liked during my journey too, is the self-love for myself. I was too focused on the outside world rather than focusing on me. And that's something that I struggled with growing up, because I thought loving myself was a selfish act. Of course, I realized we're all selfish to some degree. So really, no matter what you are, there's some gray areas in it, especially like using others. It has a negative stigma, but yet we do use people, but not in a sense like to be like abusing them. Like, for example, I had to use the VA and their people to get me a house or an apartment. And to me, unconditional love, which is the key to becoming superhuman. If you can love everything no matter what happens, like, to me, you are one with life, one with God. You are Jesus Christ, or Jesus Christ is within you. You are Buddha. You're one with everything. But again, we have our thoughts that always get in the way, and attachment of life, which is very normal. That's how we were raised, and that's how the mechanism of the mind works. Especially the way how it's conditioned growing up as a child, and what your parents told you what it is, and everyone else. Tarot card was Temperance. Keyword: balance, hope, reconciliation, transformation. I decided to do a recording of Reiki practice at the Peace Gates. I went to the library and charged my phone and laptop. I uploaded it on YouTube and should be ready in a couple of days. After I finished that, I decided to go to Astahan Babe Ke Sikh Gurudwara. Now I remember what's his name. Man, I already forgot the kid's name. PJ. I believe his name is PJ. And I mean, it was like kind of like a gurudwara that was in a more rule set, but the people there were very generous. And it wasn't really like, I didn't feel like I was in a kitchen. I feel like I was in someone's home, especially when you had a mother that's, like PJ had his mother, make me, like she was making chapati from scratch, and it was the most delicious thing. And her home cooking was amazing too. Of course, later in that journey, I decided to bring them food in return. And I decided to return back to the Peace Gate for more recordings until I ran into a man named Dilpreet Singh. And it was crazy because of all people I bumped into, I bumped into another person who was Sikh as well. We talked for a while, and he wanted to help others just like I do. And it was interesting. Okay, this is the part that I thought was very interesting. This man was more than qualified to come over and visit the U.S., and somehow he wasn't allowed to go over the border. Like, they declined him. But after we talked about it for a while, I think he realized it was God's plan to do so. And I always feel like when life shuts you out of a way, it's not to punish you. There's always a reason behind it, but I mean, you only understand that when hindsight comes into play. And once we finished talking about fishing and talking, we both decided that I will come to Canada, because he's like, man, you should come to Canada. I mean, I told him I'll pick him up and bring him to his apartment. And so I took that leap of faith again. And this was a time where my window hatch was broken and my vehicle was pretty defecated, according to the Border Patrol. I remember when they pulled me over for a vehicle inspection, I put sugar in one of those cages and went inside for interview, and I remember them asking me these questions about my plans. Do I have travel insurance? Am I working right now? And pretty much, I mean, I didn't even have a passport. I really just had my driver's license and a picture of my birth certificate. They didn't even ask for my rabies shots, which I was really surprised about. This guy told me, so you have no travel insurance, you have no money, you live out of your vehicle, and you have like no plan whatsoever about what you're doing next. I mean, he also knew I was, and yeah, let me see here. I thought VA insurance get covered in Canada, but I should have known better since it's another country. They even told me, like, yeah, we got to focus on our peeps we got to focus on our peeps. They're struggling themselves. And, okay, he knew I was living in it. He also asked about funds and plan, which I did not have one. Somehow, he gave me the benefit of a doubt and let me through the border. It's crazy because my new friend, Dilpreet Singh, he was more than qualified to come to U.S., but yet they declined him. And I went, and I had like no plan. I was underqualified, and somehow I was able to go over the border. And I told them I was going for 3 days. And they told me that's the only amount I'm allowed to have. And then I picked up dill preets. We went to an Indian restaurant. It was delicious. First time I had like restaurant food like that in a long time. And I was going to rest in his hotel, but he thought it was a bad idea because I guess he only booked for one person. But I ended up parking somewhere in someone's neighborhood and just rest for the night. The takeaway here is just to have faith in what you do. Even if, something happens to someone else, you're not on the same path as them. I proved that like miracles do exist. Life was there for me. Maybe there's angels or just like the timing was right where I just connect with the right people and, they gave me a chance. And even if something shuts out for you, it's not the end. It's just usually the door is closed because another one's opening up for you. Thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. See you in the next one. Bye for now.